Well, good afternoon and welcome to Match of the Day live from Anfield for the Today League Division 1 game between Liverpool and Chelsea. And it's a game of contrast, if ever there was one. Liverpool, the epitome of stability, grind on in search of their 17th league championship. Whereas Chelsea, whose history is embroidered with comedy and errors, are not without success. The league championship in 1954-5 under Ted Drake, FA Cup winners in 1970 under Dave Sexton, and the following year European Cup winners by beating Real Madrid in the final. But mostly the Stamford Bridge story has been one of what might have been. After a splendid season last time round, someone seems to have pressed the self-destruct button and Chelsea are now bottom of the table. Some so-called supporters of the club seem determined to crucify yet another manager, be it an extremely decent one, John Hollins. Well, that's the emotional scene that John and his team are under as they face Kenny Dalglish's Liverpool machine. Historically and traditionally unlikely to show the slightest sympathy to their opponents in their hour of need. On the contrary, they would look upon it as a heaven-sent opportunity to dispatch them quickly and clinically. Sometimes, though, on the field, things don't always turn out as expected. Do you think that's possible this afternoon, Trevor?
Well, I think it might turn out as expected. It's a very, very difficult game for John Hollins, really, in the circumstances. Away from home, though, Chelsea have done quite well. They've won at Man United and Spurs, two good results, and so they've got nothing to lose today because nobody expects them to get anything, really.
Does this emotional strain really make it that much more difficult for a team to win?
I think what the problem is from players' point of view is it's lack of confidence. I mean, the side today, quite a lot of the lads were up towards the top of the table last year, but at the moment they're lacking in confidence. It's not the best of places to get it back. And of course today I think Kerry Dixon and Pat Nevin are missing with injuries, and that's a problem as well. But, you know, they've got the lad Gordon Jury. I'll be interested to watch him. He's up front with David Speedie today, and I haven't really had a chance to see him since they got him from Scotland, so I'll look forward to watching him.
Well, let's now join the Anfield throng. Bobby Charlton and match commentator Barry Davis.
Well, the temperature's very different from Liverpool's last match, which was in the Gulf, playing in the Dubai Super Cup, in which they beat Celtic. But their team is precisely the same as played on that occasion, which means that Barry Venison is included and Jan Molby has not recovered from his hamstring injury. The player missing from the last league match when Liverpool were beaten by Watford is John Walk. Kenny Dalglish is the substitute. Well, Chelsea would be happy to have sunshine from anywhere at the moment. And John Hollins, as Trevor Brooking has just said, has lost Kerry Dixon and Pat Nevin, an ankle and a groin strain respectively. And indeed there are 5 changes from the team which conceded 4 goals at home to Wimbledon last Saturday week, I suppose we have to say. Included in midfield Jerry Murphy at number 11, and Kevin McAllister gets the role that would have been played by Pat Nevin. Keith Hackett refereeing his 3rd game of the weekend. In fact, the first was an under-11 match on Saturday morning, then a local league match yesterday afternoon, and now he's at Anfield. He clearly has no intention of going early. Spackman and Doug Ruby. They'll be hoping to play better passes than that one. Dublin. As you may well have read, Grubble are early into the act. As you may well have read, it's 51 years since Chelsea was successful on this ground back in 1935, also in December. That's in league competition. They have won here in the Cup since, rather more recently in 1966, when John Hollins, the manager, was one of the players. David Speedie, Barry Venison, wearing 10 but playing at right back. Came here in the close season from Sunderland. Actually, it was a little bit of a do-it-yourself transfer. He wrote around to all the First Division clubs, reminding them that he was available. Nickel. And the first touch for Eddie Nijveski. Speedy up in front of Hansen. Not a bad try. Plenty of support for Chelsea, as you would have seen from the blue woolly hats. Joe McLaughlin, who missed last week because he had influenza. Showing the determination from Speedy. That's Gordon Jury. Just a bit too long, but a nice idea from Jim Beglin. Saw the gap quickly, but the pass a bit too long for Steve McMahon. And number 4, Mark Lawrenson, as I'm sure you would have observed, playing in midfield, such a versatile player. Gillespie and Hansen, the partnership at the back. And the free kick was for the foul by Venison. It's a rather curious challenge, one has to say. He was well away from the ball in terms of trying to make the clearance. And the injured player is Jerry Murphy. Pat Nevin and Kerry Dixon on the bench there. Look again at the challenge. Well, I mean, you have to say that he was not in line with the ball. His right foot was in direct contact with the ankle and missing the ball by several inches. And Barry Venison, oh, he would know what he was trying to do, but don't think Jerry Murphy would have appreciated it. Anyway, a comment from Bobby Charlton.
Yeah, actually it was a bit of a late tackle, and he'll have a sore ankle, the lad, but Chelsea really, considering the position that they've got in the league at the moment and all the embarrassments that they've had, seem to be competing quite well. I mean, anyone that plays at Liverpool, one thing that you've got to do if you're going to win is you have to compete. And certainly they don't look a depressed outfit to me over the first few minutes we've had to see them.
Colin Pates, who took the free kick. And Murphy immediately in the action, although by no means 100% yet. Out by Gillespie. Ronnie Whelan, nice change. What a good ball. Well watched by Pates. Speedy. I noticed that a lot of words have been written about this being John Hollins's trial by television. But if managers were judged on getting successes away from home at Anfield, there would be quite an enormous turnaround of them, I would think. Here's McAllister. The gap's there, but the shot really wasn't. Whelan. McMahon to the left. Rush in the box is offside, and is given so. It's well played out by Murphy, nicely done by Chelsea. Jury, if it's played early, is unmarked in the middle. Speedy couldn't do it. It was a bit tough on Gordon Jury because he'd certainly found where the gap was, but it needed the first time ball from Speedy, which is very easy to play from the back of the stand or even high up on a television gantry. Murphy. McAllister. Same amount of push and shove between Hansen and John Bumstead. Venison. Rush. Again, Gets slightly gingerly to his feet, Ian Rush. Trying to get out of a rather barren spell, actually. He hasn't scored for 5 games, or 6 if you include the match in Dubai. Benison, first time shot. Cut out by Pates. And a bit of an argument going on, it would seem, between Pates and Dublin as to how Benison had so much room on that right side from Liverpool's viewpoint. The Chelsea left, which should have been Dublin's, presumably. We've had 10 minutes of the contest. Gillespie. Great climb by Speedy. Whether Nijveski would have got across, I'm not sure, but Speedy certainly cleared it well. Well watched by McLaughlin. Speedy. Oh no. Walsh. Good challenge by Bumstead. But the Liverpool pressure increasing. Now in the box for Liverpool. Nicol. And Bumstead, who was put completely off balance by Ronnie Whelan, in the end had a simple tap out. Lawrenson on the near post. Rugby got it away. Spackman, Murphy. McAllister is having quite a lively start. Speedy. Oh, that's a poor clearance by Nicol. Murphy. And they're all looking at Steve Nicol for a very unlike Liverpool piece of defending. I can only assume that nobody shouted to him, but he just put a header to the edge of the 18-yard area and no more. And there Jerry Murphy was waiting, but couldn't keep the ball down. Pates. Free kick to Chelsea. Speedy wanting to get on with it, but the whistle had gone. Worth noting that attack was born of the length of clearance by Nijveski. Spackman, Murphy and Jury on the ball. Rugby makes the run right to left. Speedy tries to get up. Well cleared by Lawrenson and then by Beglin. Space for Pates and for Dublin if he needs him. And the ball forced him to go back there rather than onto it. Bumstead, Spackman, Speedy, McAllister, Rugby outside, everybody else the other way. Murphy, good try and a good save. There's a bit of dip on that, a bit of swerve too. Good striker of the ball on his left side. And well turned over. Produced the corner, takes it. Or at least forced the goalkeeper to produce the corner, takes it. Grobbelaar. Oh, a bit of a punch down. Jury. Too much. Interesting that there have been a number of occasions when Liverpool have overhit the passes so far in this match. But that is when they are at their most dangerous, when they seem to be under pressure and suddenly they break and the cover is not there from the opposition. Oh yes, he's on. This is a real opportunity. Grobbelaar to meet him. Gary Gillespie got back to deny him. But maybe McAllister wanted too many touches. Waited too long. Good challenge slide in by Gillespie. McAllister. Well, they're queuing up, and the free kick is given Liverpool's way. And Bobby Charlton, when you get a chance like that, you have to really make up your mind when you're going to let it go, don't you? Did he?
Yes, actually, I thought that the lad thought that he was offside, but he was really very direct, went straight to the post, but good covering by the Liverpool defence. But it's the type of situation where he has to make his mind up quite quickly, where he's going to go, which foot he's going to hit it with. And by the time he made up his mind, unfortunately, the chance was gone. And but it was a terrific opportunity for him. And I think that Chelsea have been playing really quite good, constructive and intelligent football. And the crosses that have been coming in have been finding some of the Liverpool players wanting. Even though people like Gillespie and Hansen do have the height advantage, they haven't been shown it at this particular time. No, Chelsea have been quite well pleased with the first period of this match. They've done very well.
Murphy. No problems this time for Grobbelaar. But our statistician has worked out that Chelsea, in coming up to 25 minutes gone, have had 6 opportunities on his goal, whereas Liverpool have not really created one on Eddie Niedzwiecki's. As has been said on just a few occasions, it's a funny game, football. This had been played on a Saturday, you'd have said it was an absolute home banker, but not proving to be so at the moment. McMahon, Nicol coming across. Lawrenson, Gillespie to his right. Rush. Still on it a bit. Whelan. And the chances now stand at 6-1. Distance this time. Unkind bounce on Pates. Grappling gets a foot in, but he's not finding life too easy. Here's Nicol on this side. Didn't make it, never looked like doing so. Free kick against McLaughlin. Foul challenge on Rush. This free kick coming right on the half-hour point. 0-0 the score. Four marking 3 to the right of the wall as we look. Rush is the nearest. Then Walsh, then Lawrenson, then Gillespie. Oh yes! Ronnie Whelan! Got a well-taken free kick. Niedzwiecki was way over the other side and came back to get to the ball which had gone over the wall. He was in the right place, I'm not just suggesting that he wasn't, but he had so much ground to cover, and Liverpool had the lead. Well held up. Jury. How can he use it? Got support to the right. McAllister, not a good pass. Put it on the deck, said Speedy. Or something to that end, anyway. Mr. Hackett will have just a little bit of stoppage time to allow. Seem to indicate to the linesman, so Bobby Charlton tells me about a couple of minutes. Whelan, Walsh, McMahon on the edge of the box. Rush has gone into the 6-yard area. Dublin gets it away. Murphy. Speedy and Hansen. Rugby. McAllister. Speckman. 3 up on the edge of the box for Chelsea. Venison covering. Walsh. Oh, beautifully done. Nijveski's proving to Grobbelaar that he's quite capable of coming that sort of range too. Oh dear. Staked by Speedy. Rush. And still. Free kick against Rush. Was a disapproval, but Mr. Hackett was obviously right. Rush took Speckman's right ankle away. So just the one goal in the first half, scored by Ronnie Whelan. Really a superbly taken free kick.
Well, we only got the one goal to show for that 45 minutes action there, but just in case there's a television in the dressing room and Wally Whelan's in there at the moment, let's have a look at that free kick again. I no doubt he's quite proud of it.
Oh yes, Ronnie Whelan!
And there was a point, of course, when Chelsea early on in that game might have taken the lead, and it really involved Kevin McAllister, young and inexperienced, and really on this early opportunity he was put away on the right there. I hope we can see in the picture an overlap on the right. Now there's a good position there, we can't quite see the player. There he comes, running up on the right-hand side, and he might just have slipped him through. But instead, inexperience, a bit of lack of confidence, turned it inside and put in a pretty ineffective shot. But then, of course, he had an even better chance. I'm wondering myself whether you think this is offside. The moment the ball is played now, was he offside? No, probably played on, having had a second look there, which means that he's got an open Liverpool goal in front of him. You don't often find this situation at Anfield. Slows down a little bit, but look how well Gillespie does to time that tackle. Took advantage of his inexperience and a really perfectly timed tackle to save the day for Liverpool. Well, we'll have a look at, in a moment, Barry Venison. We were going to see a couple of things that he did in another direction. But before that, Trevor, a view from you on that first half.
Well, I think Chelsea must be disappointed because they've played very well. You never think that they were bottom of the table. I think possibly Kevin McAllister, it was unfortunate he actually got the chance because he isn't sort of happy in those situations. I think we didn't see in the second one when he was clean through. I think he was caught in two minds because Gordon Jury was looking at square, trying for the ball across the face of the goal, and he wasn't sure whether to play it square or hit the shot, and then he didn't do either, and Gillespie got back. And then, of course, the free kick. I mean, when you're struggling and things are going against you, all you need is a free kick like that. It was the perfect one, just cleared the wall, but it had pace on it as well. Sometimes, you know, you hit the wall when you hit it hard, and others you just don't actually get the power when you clear the wall.
We'll have another look at that free kick later, but for the moment, just to look at Barry Venison. He was involved in two incidents in the first half, another kind of keenness, if you like, back in the team. Bump, he's gone through there. I don't honestly think he meant to play Jerry Murphy with that tackle. It was enthusiasm, getting back in the side, wanting to hold on to a Liverpool place, and then later on you can see this header. Nobody here really wants to head into the back of a man's head. He went for the ball there and ended up heading Gordon jury there, which was nasty. Over keenness, inexperience in one direction, and as we saw on Chelsea's side in the other. Right, now McLaughlin, it was a free kick, of course, that led to the goal, so it doesn't pay for anybody to give away too many free kicks, but Ian Rush, the danger man, I think, the one who puts fear into people and causes them to panic in this situation. Here it is, pulling the ball down, he goes straight forward, late tackle. All right, was that the right punishment? It turns out to be the right punishment because Ronnie Whelan steps up. Once upon a time, I did say his favourite foot was his left. Apologies. That convinces me and everybody else without doubt that his favourite foot is his right. Trevor?
No, it was a great goal. As I say, once it cleared the wall, you knew it was always going to be in, because Eddie Nisvicki's the right side of the wall. He's got to cover that goal, hoping that the ball's not going to be cleared over it. But it was the perfect goal, really, and very unfortunate for Chelsea, because they were then rocked on the heels for 5 or 10 minutes. But I don't think Liverpool have quite played as well as we always think they will. I think still in midfield they lack that little bit of subtlety without Molby.
Well, if you were chairman of Chelsea, I think you'd be reasonably pleased with that first half, because it's our opportunity now to talk to the forthright, outspoken chairman of Chelsea, Ken Bates, talking to Tony Gubber.
Ken Bates, with Chelsea bottom of the First Division, there's been almost unholy speculation about the security of manager John Hollins. Let's start by asking you, what's your opinion?
Hasn't changed, in spite of the disgraceful press campaign the last few weeks, culminating in that quite disgraceful telephone poll on Friday, which I helped to bugger up, by the way, by getting about 20 of my people to vote yes and no, just to prove that how easily it is to cook up any figures you like.
Just to explain for viewers who might not know, one national newspaper invited readers to phone in and say whether they thought John Hollins should keep his job or should not. However, how much pressure does it put you under when that sort of campaign is waged in a national newspaper?
Well, obviously it puts me under a great deal of pressure, because I have to protect my manager even more. Doesn't put me under pressure to sack the man, puts me under a great deal of pressure to sympathise with him and feel outraged about these jackals and vultures that are hovering over the man when he's trying to do a good job.
Sure. What's your explanation, though, Ken, for the situation in which Chelsea find themselves in?
We're not scoring enough goals and we're conceding too many.
But how?
Well, I mean, the people, you've got 8 million people, you tell me, if your figures are correct watching you today. You saw that. We're bottom of the league, Liverpool are near the top. But we've matched them in everything except for one free kick. In fact, there were 1 or 2 opportunities we could have put away before we went 1 goal down. But that's what happens when you're bottom of the league. But we are a good team. We have good players. We're without Kerry Dixon and Pat Nevin today. We're still matching them effort for effort and ball for ball.
Mark the anniversary of one of our viewers, I'm sure, who will be watching as Liverpool are about to get the second half underway. Ted Drake, 51 years ago today, on December the 14th, 1935, that he scored all 7 goals for Arsenal at Aston Villa. And he, of course, was the manager of the Championship side for Chelsea in 1955. And what's more, he signed John Hollins. And Hollins' side in 1986 is 1 down to Liverpool. The scorer Ronnie Whelan in the 31st minute. Jerry. Spackman. Bates, Speedy. Sure he'd like more of the ball played up to him like that. Likes it to feet, or at least on the deck. Spackman. Jury. It's nicely done, but not that. Certainly full of noise this afternoon. Murphy. That shout came from Mr. Hackett. Played by Hansen. Bumstead. Ronnie Whelan was the player who got in the way. Lawrenson. Liverpool attacking the Kop end, which is the way they like to play in the second half. It's Besky in trouble, and the Baron spell ends. Nichols cross, and you know who scores, and you know what that means, and I'm not going to tell you any more than that because it's becoming the most boring statistic in football. But what a good cross. Nijveski was in trouble at that moment, and up rose Rush, and that's 2-0 Liverpool, and his 22nd of the season. Just look where Nijveski is now. He's never going to reach the cross, and Rush climbed so well. And of course, let me remind you, came from Steve Nicol. Oh, and this is Paul Walsh, and this is Ian Rush, but that's Nijveski's. Murphy. Foul by Lawrenson, which I think the Scotsman made sure he got, but even so was a foul. And this is a very, very similar position from which Ronnie Whelan scored in the first half. Just slightly further away, I suggest. Four-man wall. Well, the fact that Dury has taken a position on the left would allow Murphy to try and curl it around with his left. Goes for the header, which he doesn't find. McAllister struck it well, but straight at double up. One note being held at one end of the ground and a constant Chelsea at the other. And I suppose they'll be trying to keep it up for another half an hour. That's the position as we reach the hour in the match. 2-0 to Liverpool. Good return, Jim Beglin. Lovely turn by Rush. McMahon never had any doubt in his mind that he was going to go for goal. Good save by Nijveski. There's a player to his right, but he was going to have a strike with Steve McMahon, and it was palmed away for the corner. Walsh, Whelan, Rush made it his. Lawrenson just flashed at it. Spackman, chance. Beglin got in the way. There was a 4-1 break then for a moment. It's a fine ball by Venison to Nicol, who supplied the cross for goal number 2. Walsh. Corner. Gillespie off the line by Murphy. Tremendous Liverpool pressure, which will come to an end. Free kick for the challenge on Murphy, who was the player who just cleared off the line. Did it with great aplomb. Nichols' corner. Flick came from Gillespie, and Nijveski seemed to see it late and just poked away. crowd want him to have a go again. But by no means the quality of the previous one, Bobby.
Yeah, poor old Chelsea on the rack at the moment, but Steve McMahon, when he had that shot, it was spot on, right in the corner, exactly as he wanted to hit it, where he hit it, and Eddie Niedzwiecki actually made a fantastic save. I must say, this is one of the best saves you could ever wish to see. He was at full stretch, and really, I think the people behind Liverpool thought they'd got number 3 behind the goals there.
Rush, a lot of space for Whelan. 4 waiting in the middle. Venison. Bumstead. McAllister. It's too long. Walsh. McMahon. That's a fine ball to Walsh. No, he's offside. It's a pity because, again, the crowd wanted McMahon to have a go, but he's a far too intelligent a player to have tried to go through the ruck of players. But now Speedy. Players on the right, but he's being forced all over the place. Dublin. Jury. It's good to see Alan Hansen coming forward, and he's still available in the inside left position. Oh yes, Gillespie to Nicol.
Available is the right word that you just used there, Barry. The Liverpool players always seem to have 1 or 2 men available to pass to when they have the ball. And poor little David Speedy there, when he picked the ball up, he was forced backwards all the time. Not because he was just being pressured, but because there was no one there that really was supporting him. That's the difference between the two sides, when one team completely confident and the other in a little bit of disarray.
Bates. Murphy. Chelsea backline, the Liverpool backline were moving forward, and the Chelsea players had no chance of collecting the through ball. We're into the last quarter of an hour of a contest whose outcome is surely set, but an interesting thing, if Liverpool could manage to get a third, it would be the century of goals scored against Chelsea here at Anfield over the years. Played 44 matches since season 1907-1908. And Chelsea have only won 4 of them. Spackman. Just too soon, but it was tight. McMahon. Beglin. Alan Hansen. Scored Liverpool's goal on Tuesday night in Dubai. Hasn't done that too often. His last league goal was in May '84. Rush thought that he might be in for one then, but the back header from Walsh going slightly astray. There's the Liverpool skipper. Beglin. Nicol. And still. Rush in the middle, Whelan on the near side as we look. Nicol. Oh, I say, what a classic goal! Well, Nijveski picks himself up from the back of the net. He had to make so much ground. As Nicol came across, there were two possibilities of a pass on for him. Nijveski was well forward and he chipped the ball over his head so sweetly to find the back rigging.
What a fantastic goal. I was just actually thinking that Paul Walsh is having a really good game, but Steve Nicol, who has had a particularly good match on that side of the field, actually just scored the type of goal that you would dream about. I mean, everything went right for him. The players were all caught on the heels. He had a good look up, saw the goalkeeper just a yard or two off the line, but that was enough for him to make the decision, and a brilliant goal was the result.
3-0 to Liverpool, and the century achieved. And if you're going to score a goal which decides a century, you couldn't ask for much better than that. All three goals have been very different, but all really quite classic. The free kick from Whelan, the header from Rush, the finish from Nicol with the chip. Murphy. Whelan, it bounced a bit kindly for him, Rush is offside. McMahon. Determination from Benison. The linesman shook his head when the referee looked at him, but there was a moment when the ball was handled then. But it had to be intentional, of course. Whelan, McMahon, Beglin, Nicol on the left, everybody else the other way. Rush, oh, he's made the gap. Didn't really find the shot worthy of note. 10 minutes left. Wood to Rugby to nobody.
Completely superior Liverpool now. A little bit of trepidation for me. It's our team that have to come and play them here on Boxing Day, but I've no doubt Alex Ferguson will have had a close look at them and act accordingly. But what a tremendous arena to have a really top-class football match. I'm sure the people that have watched today have enjoyed it, even though the match might have been slightly one-sided.
Well, now I know why you've been writing all those notes. Lawrenson. Dalglish. Pates upsides him. 5 minutes remaining, and it probably won't be enough for Kenny Dalglish. Having got on, he's immediately got the taste for it. Hansen. Benison. Kick against Colin Pates. McMahon. Climb again by Speedy, but Hansen didn't take his eye off the ball for a second. McLaughlin. Nicol. Free kick against Rugby. Scott against Scott. Here's Gillespie. So much power in it, but it doesn't go. Really tanked that, and it spun away from Nidveski. Took it seemed an eternity to get up, but the ball did not cross. Just couldn't regain his balance, the goalkeeper, but he did just in time. Jury, Speedy, unlucky. Nice sportsmanship. Good early ball. It's a question of getting there first and sticking out the foot. And Speedy got there first, but couldn't change the angle of the movement of the ball. Benison. Hansen. At the hole while Whelan got back to an onside position, and here's Hansen. Nidveski very quickly off his line. Whelan. Lawrenson. Mr. Hackett has one look at his watch. Nothing it is. For half an hour we wondered, but once Ronnie Whelan scored, the die was cast, and Liverpool offered us three real gems. Beautiful goals, Whelan getting the first, Rush getting the second, and Kenny Dalglish's side coming off quite comfortably the victors, with Nicol getting the third goal, and a brilliant goal it was too, the 100th against Chelsea on this ground in league football.